Hello everybody, Glass Half Dead here with a Pariah Nexus FAQ Errata update. They finally gave it to us. It's been, I think, a month and a half now, maybe 2 months. I don't know. Time is difficult to follow. What are we getting? Are we getting everything we hoped? Have they given it all to us? It's one page, so I'm going to say probably not. However, some of the big things that we've wanted, for example, updates to other factions, would take the form of a single line, which would essentially be anything with the name Flamer now has this profile. And they have updated the profile of a weapon in here, so maybe this one page gives us what we want. Spoilers, it doesn't. Let's get into it. But before we do that, of course, to all the subscribers of my channel, which is only about 48% of you, I would like to say a quick double hello. What a nice sound that was. Very wholesome. If you want yourself a double pleasantry in the next video, like, subscribe, leave a comment right now, and that can be yours. I am just going to straight up read it to you because it's so short. But then I am going to go over a few things. One thing I do want to say first, though, I'm going to jump right to it. This is something that's going to affect all of us. Death Denied is 3 CP again. Do keep that in mind because it says a lot about how GW managed to reverse it to that. And it just brings up more questions about why do they errata things, why do they FAQ things, should we assume that all FAQs previously are still in effect, even though, for example, like, let's get into it. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They have changed 7 things. All of them are Space Marines, which of course makes sense, but it does just go to show that they're specifically FAQing and errataing things that were in the book. They are not adding any additional rules to anything else. So because most of this is Space Marines, I'm going to start with the final thing, which was a Necron thing. And this is actually worthy of note. So, Lich Guard, Dispersion Shield ability. Change this rule to add 1 to saving throws made for a model armed with a Dispersion Shield, excluding invuln saves. In addition, it has a 4-up invuln save. This is really nice. So this means that your Lich Guard, instead of just having a 4-up invuln, now has a 4-up invuln and a natural 2-up save. That's really nice. In fact, if we look back at my recent Necron faction focus, this might make me change my thoughts on whether or not you should take a Lich Guard with Dispersion Shield. Now, everything else is pretty in-depth, and you have to know what it was before, so let me just quickly get out one of the other very small ones. Captain in Gravis armor at level 2 is 108 points, instead of, I think it was like super low at like 88 points or something, so they corrected that. I believe that was already a known mistake. Now everything else here affects Adeptus Astartes and of course Death Watch, because Death Watch can now take most of the Adeptus Astartes stuff. So the ranged weapon, the Stalker pattern bolt gun they've updated, is now range 30, heavy 2, strength 4, AP -1, damage 1. Off the top of my head, I believe that it had been heavy 1 before, so that's good. I assume that is again bringing it in line with 40k Knight. There's also a change to special issue ammunition. Now, we've been expecting a change to special issue ammunition and how many points you have to pay for certain things, because there were a few models that you could bring over to the Death Watch and it would give them special issue ammunition in their gun, but you didn't have to pay for it. So let's see what they've changed. When this model fires an Absolver bolt pistol, auto bolt rifle, bolt carbine, bolt pistol, bolt... I'm just going to be listing off whole... I'll do it, but I'm not happy about it. Bolt rifle, bolt gun, combi flamer, bolt gun profile only, combi melter, bolt gun profile only, combi plasma, bolt gun profile only, heavy bolt pistol, stalker bolt rifle, stalker pattern bolt gun, storm bolter, vigil spear, or a master crafted version of the aforementioned weapons. You could choose one kind of ammunition from the table opposite and apply the corresponding modifier. So what they've done there from the previous special issue ammunition rule, there were certain things. It was the specifically the one I'm thinking of is the Watchmaster's vigil spear. Who is, of course, for those of you who don't know, the Watchmaster is like the head, the big guy for the Death Watch, like their most expensive commander. From the original wording, he couldn't actually use special issue ammunition on his weapon, which of course is insane. So they've just updated that. This seems like a good change. Should have been in there in the first place. This is just a genuine, yeah, okay, we should have added more words. Our bad. You then get an update to Aquila Kill Team rules. When you add an Adeptus Astartes model, excluding a Scout, Sternguard, Vet, or Tactical Marine, to your command roster and create a data card, instead of the Adeptus Astartes faction keyword, if you do so, that model gains the Adeptus Astartes keyword. Note that this is not a faction keyword. And it gains the special issue ammunition ability, but you must add the relevant additional point values opposite, blah blah blah. Okay, so just off my read there, I don't actually know what they've added or changed there. So I assume that what they've done here is, the way it was worded before, you replace Adeptus Astartes with Death Watch. Now they've added in the Adeptus Astartes keyword for them so that they can still use tactics, basically. Because you ran into this weird issue where they weren't technically Adeptus Astartes, so they couldn't use any of their tactics, and certain auras didn't technically work on them, etc, etc. So they just cleared up the wording there. And then we have Sternguard Veteran War Gear options. A Sternguard Sergeant may exchange their special issue bolt gun for Storm Shield, or one item from the combi weapons, pistols, or melee weapons lists. If it does, it may also be armed with a special issue bolt gun, or one item from the combi weapons list. A model cannot be armed with more than one Storm Shield. So I don't know why they did that. I, again, just assumed there was some sort of weird wording. And just in case you didn't catch it, I'm going to say it again. Death denied 3 CP. So what does this FAQ errata mean for us? Whilst the words themselves were not particularly impactful upon the game, apart from death denied 3 CP, I do think that is the right place for it. 2 CP is a little bit... it just makes me a little bit too durable, so I'm happy with that change. What this mainly tells us is that we're not going to get another FAQ anytime soon for Pariah Nexus, which means we can kind of assume that Kill Team as it is now is what it's going to be. It's not going to get the same treatment that 40k got, where when they updated the Space Marine Codex, they also updated Flamers, Melter rules, etc. for every army that used a weapon of the same name. So now we have Marines who will have a heavy bolt that does 2 damage, etc. But then the same weapon in another team, Chaos Marines, Sisters, etc., regular heavy bolter. They're not getting the upgrade. And obviously also Flamers are not going up to 12 inches for every army that can use them. And for me, it's definitely that lack of errata-ing that I mind the most, as opposed to what the errata did give us. Because again, we saw them do it for 40k 9th edition. I don't see how it would have been that difficult to do that in Kill Team. You know, over in 9th, they gave a 1-page document that says everything that does this now does this. They then later went back in and kind of made it more official. So when for example, Grey Knights got their update, they changed certain other flame-based weapons that weren't just named Flamer to also be 12 inches. But the core rule of anything that is named Flamer now has this profile would have been a 1-page. They had room on this Pariah Nexus errata to include those updates. They wouldn't have had to have spread to a 2nd page. So the question will very soon become, what do we do with Pariah Nexus? Do we modify the rules of the game to what we know that they are going to be soon? And we just say, hey, if it is called Flamer, it now has this profile. If it is called Heavy Bolter, if it is called Power Sword, it has this profile. Or do we just accept that Pariah Nexus is what it is and it gets an upgrade whilst nothing else does? Or do we just ignore Pariah Nexus and take Kill Team as it was pre-Pariah Nexus as the finished version of Kill Team 1? And we wait for Kill Team 2.0 to release, which, by all rumours that I hear, is later this year. I would assume in 4 months. But it could be later, you know how COVID's affecting things, could be 6 months, 8 months, you know, end of the year, December. Could even be early next year, which then is a very long wait. I don't have the answers for you yet. I think that the default is going to be, and this is completely unsurprising, just play the rules as they are in the book. Genestealer Occult Flamer, hey, that's 8 inches. Marine Flamer, yeah, that's 12. That kind of sucks. I think we can all agree. But at the end of the day, those are the rules. And I think that's how tournaments were going to have to go forwards. And generally, most people that I know, if a tournament is running something one way, they are going to play it that way because it's a nice bit of practice for the tournament scene. Anyway, that is the Pariah Nexus errata. Remarkably disappointing, but also what we probably all expected. Death Denied is 3 CP, so that's good. Anyway, if you've made it to the end of the video, I hope that the audio hasn't been too terrible, and I'd like to give you a big triple hello. Thank you very much for watching. Anyway, this has been Glass Half Dead. I hope you've had a good day and continue to have a good day. Goodbye.